So that's a real brief review of some of the psychological as well as physical benefits of serving. When I think of service, for me specifically, I'm kind of a comic book guy, a superhero guy. I like superheroes. And so when I was reviewing through my head some of my favorite superheroes, it came to my mind that Wonder Woman is the epitome of a female superhero. She's probably the most popular female superhero there is. Now, her backstory, if you've ever followed Wonder Woman, is that she's actually Princess Diana. She's an Amazon who has these super abilities because of her lineage. She's royalty. And for me, with the recent royal weddings and stuff, I couldn't help but think of, you know what, isn't that the purpose of royalty? To actually serve? You know, and I don't know where this new couple will go in their roles as royalty and service. But as a superhero, Wonder Woman is a princess, and she's given up her throne to go out and serve and be benevolent and once again fight crime, but even to help that little kitty out of the tree or the little person walk across the road. And so Wonder Woman to me is a pretty powerful indicator in our culture of why we like service. And I think that's one of the reasons why we as individuals are connected to superheroes and the mass publicity of superheroes over the many years, whether it started in comics or now has come full circle into some of the movies that we see, and they're very popular in our culture today. Another model of service that I identify with and connected to Memorial Day is Captain America. He is the military might, right? If you look at his history, his name is Stephen Rogers. And there's a recent movie will be coming out shortly here that you can catch all this on. But his character was very deficient. He was not strong. He could not defend. He could not help others out. In fact, he tried to become involved in the military to serve and was rejected time after time after time. And so he decided that didn't matter what it was going to take, he was dedicated. He wanted to serve other people. And so he was willing to take a risk and get this secret serum that changed and altered his DNA and his makeup, and he became Captain America, which is very self-sacrificing, once again, to give up your own identity, your own personal livelihood, and dedicate your life to serving others. And now, once again, Captain America is off fighting crime. And we may not be quite as glorious in our acts of service, yet that is our possibility. My final model of service, who I like to connect to, he's pretty important for me as a superhero when I identify with that, is Spider-Man. Spider-Man is actually, to me, probably the most realistic representation of us as humans. Peter Parker is not popular. He's not even technically an adult. He's often seen and depicted in high school or right out of high school. So he's a young person. And he doesn't get along well with the ladies. He's not very popular. He's got a lot of problems in life. He's always trying to balance his identity as a superhero versus his identity as Peter Parker, this normal person who's got lots of problems in his life. And that, to me, hits home. I got to balance things. I got to time prioritize. Things don't go always perfectly for me. You know what? Doggone it, I forgot this, or I made this mistake. And I have to try and balance those things. I have to rise above the normal drudgery at times, shall I say, of life and complications of living with a family and extended family. And so to me, he's pretty applicable when I look at who is he, and as a role model, can I begin to try and live some of those things out of service in my life? Is that whole balance of when do I give of myself and when do I have to prioritize and take care of myself? And so that's three real quick synopsis, three real quick examples of service in kind of a fun way to look at things, is the superhero model. But my real question back then is that's kind of how I view things at times. But how about you? What's in your character? Character's often been described as what you do when no one's looking. And sometimes our character, we might not want everyone to know. Sometimes we do make mistakes. Yet the challenge before us is to have our character shine through us in our acts of service. So my challenge to you, my encouragement to you, is to look at your character. What is your character about? What makes you tick? Is it I'm seeking to fulfill my own needs and my own wants all the time? Or is it that, you know what, I can step outside of my priority, my little view of the world. Everyone does not wear Scott Nyegaard colored glasses. And I can step outside of that and I can assist in this area, or I can volunteer in this area, or I can help someone that I will never ever see again, but I can take that act of kindness, that act of service, and help them move, offer them assistance, offer them a ride. There's an individual that I see routinely walking into town. This individual has had some trouble occur in